Hi guys. I just wanted to jump on and say hello and also just kind of throw out some tidbits of information about what we're seeing in the market right now as far as buyers go and what buyers have been up against. I really want, especially first-time home buyers that have never been through the home buying process, I want them to be aware of the differences with this market versus a traditional market because there's quite a few things that you have to be a little bit more prepared for. Number one, listing price in this market is a starting place. It's very, very rare for a home to go for what the list price was, unless maybe it was overpriced to begin with. But typically we are seeing homes go at the minimum 10% over list price. So if you are a first-time home buyer, you definitely want to be saving some extra coin because you are going to need to be prepared to go and bid much higher than you traditionally would, okay? So that is the first thing. Number two, a lot of people and a lot of buyers, so that they are more competitive, are waiving things like an inspection. Or they are paying and getting a pre-inspection done so that then their offer looks more competitive, because if you have a pre-inspection done or you waive your inspection, it can save time as far as the transaction goes. So those are some things that you want to be aware of that you might want to consider to see if this is the right market for you to buy in, okay? Because you have to be comfortable with these things. This is how offers are getting accepted and how people are getting into homes. So you want to know what you're up against so that you can evaluate to see if this is actually going to be a good market for you to be in. And for some of you, it might be yes. Some of you, it might be no, and that's totally fine. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, I don't know if you guys have heard of 22 AD. So this is a super common one. This is getting thrown around a lot, and I just wanted to clarify what it was. So number one, whatever a house is listed at, if it goes above that, you could run into appraisal issues. Because if a listing real estate agent has done their job, they should be pricing the house pretty close to what it's going to appraise for. That's really what our job is to figure out what the value of that home is, the comparables in the area, what they've sold for, so on and so forth. What we're seeing though, because no one is really buying homes at list price, is sometimes these houses are going $50,000 to $100,000 above. So number one, if you're a full cash buyer, no issue at all, okay? But if you're borrowing money to purchase a home, which most of us do, because who has that much money saved, right? Then you can only finance what the home appraises for. So where we're running into issues with this is when people are bidding $100,000 over, it's not appraising for that much. So just to give you an example, let's say, we'll just keep it easy. $400,000 house, that's what they listed for. It went for $500,000, okay? And then it only appraises for $450,000. Now there's that $50,000 difference, that deficit, that the seller wants reassurance that you can pay for, so that they don't end up having to take $450,000. Does that make sense? So they want reassurance that you can close that gap with cash, with additional cash above what the home actually appraises for, so that they can have that extra money in their pocket. And people are doing it. So people are writing up offers with $50,000 of AD, which is nuts. But a house is worth what someone's willing to pay, right? So that's what we're seeing. That's what's going on right now. So my biggest, something little tidbit that I can help you with is save money, a lot of money, as much as you can, and also just have patience. So if you haven't already been saving for years, you're probably not going to have $50,000. But maybe you could have $5,000 or $10,000 extra that you could possibly offer as 22 AD. Those little bits of extra are going to help you try and be more competitive. The other thing is that you just want to be patient. You have to be patient and persistent in this market. I just had a couple who have been looking since January get their 14th offer accepted. Think about that emotional or roller coaster. Not fun. But that's what they signed up for. They knew about it. We talked about it. They understood it was a rough market, and they stayed positive throughout the whole thing. And now they're super happy that they got the house that they got. It's hard to stay positive when you're in it. And I'm sure a lot of my buyers can, speak up and say, yeah, it's not fun. I remember being in that as well. But if you just stick with it, you are going to get a home. That's just the way it works. But you do have to be patient. You have to be realistic as well. Okay, so patient, persistent, realistic, and saving as much money as you can. So anyways, I hope that this helped a little bit, helped to clarify some of the strange things that are going on in the market. It is a really good time to buy, even with all of that, because our interest rates are low right now. We don't know what they're going to do tomorrow, right? But for right now, they are really low. And so that's huge. That's very beneficial because in the long run, you're going to be able to get a little bit more house for a little less money. So it really is important to try and get a chip in the game if you can. Even if it's not your forever home, which is what a lot of first-time home buyers get mixed up with, you need to think of this as an investment opportunity. You need to think of this as me getting my foot in the door so that I can grow equity, so then I can upgrade in the future. Does that make sense? So if you guys have any questions, I would absolutely love to sit down and talk with you. This is very similar to how I go through my buyer's consultations. This is what I like to talk to people about. I like to set realistic expectations so that I'm protecting your time, I'm protecting my time, and so we're on the same page, and so we can be successful. So I would love to work with you guys as soon as you are ready to become home buyers, or if you are trying to sell as well. We can definitely work on a plan so that you can sell and buy at the same time. Even though that can be a little bit intimidating right now, it can be done. So definitely message me, email me, text me, whatever you're comfortable with, comment down below. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your comments and maybe your stories if you're already a homeowner, or your stories as well as what you went through. So, all right, you guys, have a good night.